Hello again. Welcome to the next part of our module where we will study the end of the play Oedipus Rex. So, in this part of the play, the reading begins with Jocasta arriving with offerings for Apollo. Apollo is the sun god. And then an unexpected messenger arrives. Oedipus speaks with this messenger, and he has news about Polybus. Polybus is the man that Oedipus thinks is his real father, but he's actually his adopted father. The messenger reports that Polybus has died, and then this messenger also informs him that Polybus is not his real father, that Polybus adopted him. So, this oracle that Oedipus fears that he will kill his father and marry his mother, that oracle is not necessarily disproven by the fact that Polybus died because he wasn't his real father anyway. This prophecy that Oedipus will kill his father and marry his mother, as it turns out, is a message that was received by both Oedipus and Jocasta. Oedipus hears this oracle when he was still living in Corinth, and it compels him to leave the city because he didn't want it coming true. Jocasta also heard a similar prophecy, that her newborn baby was going to kill his father. That prophecy, as she believes, did not come true, because she left that baby out in the woods to die. Or so she thinks. When the shepherd that Oedipus sent for finally arrives, he explains what happened to Laios. Jocasta then begs Oedipus to stop investigating. It seems that she knows something that he, thus far, does not. So Oedipus sees Jocasta run into the palace, and Oedipus believes that she's upset because it's possible he might have been born a slave or a poor person and not a real prince. She's really grappling with the truth of who he is. Oedipus, the king before us, was that same baby she tried to leave for dead. That baby survived, and he did kill his biological father, and he did marry his biological mother. At the end of the play, Oedipus realizes that he fulfilled this prophecy without knowing it. He says, "Oh, it's all true." And we see him experience that dreadful realization. So, for this module, after you finish reading the play, read through the instructor's material, and the links here lead to a presentation on the features of Greek tragedy. And here you'll learn about the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle and how he defined tragedy. He says that tragedy must have a plot that shows a discovery and a reversal of fortune. That is called peripeteia in ancient Greek. Now, Aristotle writes that this reversal of fortune should happen to someone who is noble, that we can look up to, so that when we see them suffering, we as an audience experience pity and fear. So, I think a good example of this is when we see, either in a film, a show, or in the news, the story of a needless death or something terrible. I'm remembering in 2001 when the Twin Towers fell in New York. I felt horrified and I felt scared that something could happen to me. At the same time, I was just so terribly sad that there were people suffering there. These two emotions of both fear and pity is what makes a tragedy. That reversal of fortune in the plot provokes these emotions in the audience. That's what Aristotle believes makes a tragedy a tragedy. He argues that the tragedy produces a catharsis of these emotions, This word catharsis can mean a purge. So Aristotle is saying that when we watch tragedy, we're kind of cleansing ourselves of these emotions. We purge them. We cry when we see a tragic film or a tragic play. And so this word, actually, catharsis, comes from an ancient Greek word that can also be used as laxative, meaning it's something that, purges us. And so we experience a sense of relief after we have that experience of watching the tragedy. So the figure of Oedipus is that of a tragic hero. He is someone who is noble and admirable. He wants to help the city. We look up to him. He's achieved great things in the past. But he experiences a reversal of fortune. The tragic hero's demise comes about because of a fatal flaw or an error. The word in ancient Greek that Aristotle uses is hamartia, which means something in excess that just misses the mark. So, what do you think is this tragic mistake that Oedipus makes here? What do you think is his hamartia? For this module, after we read the instructor's material and the features of Greek tragedy, turn to the discussion questions. And then there is also a quiz on the play. Remember to complete your voice thread assignment and tell me what you find so tragic about this story. And I look forward to reading your thoughts on the discussion board. Make sure you compose all of your responses in complete sentences and good grammar, and refer to the reading to support your points. I'll see you on the discussion board.